In this video, we pay tribute to the celebrities who tragically passed away today. Join us as we remember their incredible contributions to the entertainment industry and the impact they had on our lives. From legendary actors to renowned musicians, this video is a heartfelt acknowledgement of their talent and legacy. Stay tuned as we honor these beloved stars and reflect on their extraordinary careers.
I wanted to be a gangster then.
You wanted to be a gangster, you're around 11 years old.
Quincy Jones. He was an American record producer, songwriter, composer, arranger, and film and television producer. His career spanned over 70 years, with 28 Grammy Awards, 1 out of 80 nominations, and a Grammy Legend Award in 1992. Jones came to prominence in the 1950s as a jazz arranger and conductor before working on pop music and film scores. He moved easily between genres, producing pop hit records for Leslie Gore in the early 1960s, and serving as an arranger and conductor for several collaborations between the jazz artists Frank Sinatra and Count Basie. In 1968, Jones became the first African American to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song for The Eyes of Love from the film Banning. Jones was also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Score for his work on the 1967 film In Cold Blood, making him the first African American to be nominated twice in the same year. Jones produced 3 of the most successful albums by pop star Michael Jackson: Off the Wall, 1979, Thriller, 1982, and Bad, 1987. In 1985, Jones produced and conducted the charity song We Are the World, which raised funds for victims of famine in Ethiopia. In 1971, Jones became the first African American to be the musical director and conductor of the Academy Awards. In 1995, he was the first African American to receive the Academy's Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award. He is tied with sound designer Willie D. Burton as the second most Oscar-nominated African American, with 7 nominations each. In 2013, Jones was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the Ahmet Ertegun Award category. He was named one of the most influential jazz musicians of the 20th century by Time. He was born March 14, 1933. He died at his home in Bel Air, Los Angeles at the age of 91. His death was confirmed by his publicist in a statement to NPR that did not mention the cause of death.
I would do anything for love, but
Darrel Janz. He was a Canadian journalist known for his work in broadcasting. Originally from Saskatchewan, Janz completed his education at a teacher's college in 1961. Janz's first broadcasting position came at CFAM Radio in Altona, Manitoba in 1961. His career saw his move between Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and Alberta, and he provided coverage of the October Crisis in 1970. He became an anchor with CFCN in 1973, continuing in the position until 2013. Among the highlights of his career were covering the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles and the 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary. In 2006, Janz was recognized with a Lifetime Achievement Award from Radio Television Digital News Association of Canada, one of 2 recipients that year from the Prairie region. In 2013, he was the inaugural inductee to the Western Association of Broadcasters Broadcast Hall of Fame. That year, the city of Calgary recognized him with a Community Achievement Award for his community advocacy. Following his retirement from his anchor position, Janz continued with CTV and hosted the weekly show Inspired. He later hosted a weekly show on Yes TV. Janz also taught broadcast journalism at SAIT for 11 years, and at Mount Royal College for 15 years. His birth year is 1941. He died on the morning at the age of 83. His death was announced in a social media post by a family member on Saturday. The reason for his death is still unknown.
Hollywood Helpers, specializing in personnel for the
Rachins. He was an American actor celebrated for his role as Douglas Brackman in L.A. Law, which garnered him nominations for both a Golden Globe and an Emmy. Additionally, he portrayed Larry on the TV show Dharma and Greg. Alan Leonard Rachins was born to a Jewish family in Cambridge, Massachusetts, on October 3, 1942, the only child of Edward and Ida Rachins of Brookline, Massachusetts. His father was in a family food manufacturing business called Snow Crest. When Rachins was 11, his mother died, and because his father often lived away from home while working, he was often alone. When he was a teenager, he saw the film Rebel Without a Cause, which motivated him to pursue acting as a way to channel the loneliness and grief he felt over his home life. Beginning in 1967, he performed in a succession of plays, including the original Broadway productions of After the Rain and Hadrian VII, as well as the original off-Broadway productions of The Trojan Women and the controversial O. Calcutta. In 1972, Rachins put his acting career on hold when he was accepted as a fellow in the writing and directing programs at the American Film Institute. He went on to sell scripts to a variety of shows including The Fall Guy, Hill Street Blues, Knight Rider, Quincy, and Heart to Heart. Rachins appeared on the ABC television series Eli Stone, playing an attorney in consultation with Stone. The name Brackman can be seen in inverted letters on a translucent wall behind Rachins. For 2 seasons, he provided the voice of Norman Osborn in the animated series The Spectacular Spider-Man. He also appeared on the TNT television series Rizzoli and Isles as a recurring guest star, and guest starred as Frank in the Good Luck Charlie episode, It's a Charlie Duncan Thanksgiving. Rachins married actress Joanna Frank in 1978, and together they had a son. Rachins was a member of Mensa International. He died from heart failure at the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, at the age of 82. His wife, actress Joanna Frank, shared this news with The Hollywood Reporter.
And to me, for the last 8 years, it's revitalized my career.
Andre Braugher. He was an American actor best known for portraying Detective Frank Pembleton in the NBC police drama Homicide, Life on the Street, 1993 to 1999, and Captain Raymond Holt in the Fox/NBC comedy series Brooklyn Nine-Nine, 2013. He received 2 Primetime Emmy Awards and earned nominations for 2 Golden Globe Awards. Braugher started his acting career as part of the Public Theater's Shakespeare in the Park, appearing in Much Ado About Nothing, 1988, Coriolanus, Twelfth Night, Hamlet, and As You Like It, 2012. He transitioned his career into television, gaining roles in Kojak, 1989, The Court-Martial of Jackie Robinson, and The Tuskegee Airmen, followed by leading roles in the ABC medical series Gideon's Crossing, 2000, the CBS crime series Hack, 2002, the FX crime miniseries Thief, and the TNT comedy series Men of a Certain Age. Braugher's film roles include Glory, 1989, Primal Fear, 1996, City of Angels, 1998, and others. Braugher's first film role was in the 1989 film Glory as Thomas Searles, a free, educated black man from the North who joins the 1st Black Regiment in the Union Army. In 1997, he was selected by People as one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world. He portrayed General Hager in the 2007 film Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Braugher appeared on the TV series House, MD as Dr. Darrel Nolan, a psychiatrist who helps House recover from his addiction to Vicodin. In 1991, Braugher married actress Ami Brabson, who co-starred with him in Homicide, Life on the Street. They had 3 sons, Michael, Isaiah, and John Wesley, and lived in New Jersey. Braugher died at the age of 61. His death was attributed to lung cancer, with which he had been diagnosed a few months prior. Following his death, many of his co-stars expressed gratitude for his warmth, kindness, and talent as an actor.
I wish I would have
Lance Reddick. He was an American actor known for his role as Cedric Daniels in The Wire, 2002, Philip Broyles in Fringe, and Chief Irvin Irving in Bosch. He also portrayed Detective Johnny Basil in the 4th season of Oz, Matthew Abaddon in Lost, 2004, Albert Wesker and his clones in the Netflix series Resident Evil, 2022. He provided the voice and likeness for video game characters Martin Hatch in Quantum Break, Silence in Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West, and Commander Zavala in the Destiny franchise. Reddick attended the Yale School of Drama in the early 1990s, receiving a Master of Fine Arts degree in 1994. Reddick was cast as Cedric Daniels in the HBO series The Wire, having also auditioned for the roles of Bubbles and Bunk Moreland. He joined ABC's series Lost in 2008, where he played Matthew Abaddon, an employee of Charles Widmore, in multiple episodes. Reddick released his debut album Contemplations and Remembrances in 2007, and in early 2008, he was cast in a key role in the pilot of Fringe, in which his fellow as actor Kirk Acevedo also had a regular role. In 2014, Reddick appeared as Sharon in the action thriller film John Wick, a role he reprised in its 3 sequels. In July 2021, it was confirmed that Reddick would reprise his role in John Wick, Chapter 4. Reddick was a spokesman in television commercials for Cree LED bulbs. Reddick died suddenly at the age of 60, at his home in Studio City, Los Angeles, from what the coroner deemed to be coronary artery disease and atherosclerotic heart disease. Tributes were paid by colleagues and friends, including Reddick's The Wire co-stars Wendell Pierce and Isaiah Whitlock Jr., as well as creator David Simon. In January 2024, the Academy of Science Fiction, fantasy and horror films announced that it had established the Lance Reddick Legacy Award for the Saturn Awards ceremony in honor of Reddick's contributions to the film industry.
Then to a fitting, claiming
Helen Gwyn. She was an English actress. She was nominated for the 1992 BAFTA TV Award for Best Light Entertainment Performance for the comedy series Drop the Dead Donkey, 1990, and won the 2009 Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Featured Actress in a Musical for her role in the Broadway production of Billy Elliot the Musical. She was also a 5-time Olivier Award nominee, winning her first posthumously in 2024. Her other television roles included Peak Practice, 1999, Merseybeat, and playing Camilla in The Windsors from 2016 until her death. Gwyn became an actor in her mid-20s. One of her first television roles was as Cosima in the Lovejoy 2-part special, Death in Venice, 1986. She played feminist lecturer Dr. Robin Penrose in the BBC television miniseries dramatization of David Lodge's Nice Work in 1989. Her first high-profile comedy role was as Alex Pates in Drop the Dead Donkey in 1990. She then appeared in the 1991 children's ITV science fiction series Time Riders and later became a regular in Peak Practice, first appearing at the start of Series 7 in 1999 as Dr. Joanna Graham. In 2002, she starred in the television drama for the BBC, The Secret, playing the character of Emma Faraday. She also performed in numerous productions for the Royal Shakespeare Company. Her later television appearances were usually in shorter dramas, such as the role of Julius Caesar's wife, Calpurnia, in the TV series Rome. She also appeared in the first Christmas special episode of Midsummer Murders, Ghosts of Christmas Past, 2004, as Jennifer Carter. In 2023, Gwyn starred as Pam Lee, a version of the real-life Judge Prue Leith, in the Great British Bake Off musical. Gwyn lived in London. She had 2 sons with her partner Jason Phipps. Gwyn died at the age of 66, following a cancer diagnosis 1 month earlier.
People in Liverpool, when I used to go up ready to film.
Jean Boat. She was an English actress best known for her role as Nellie Boswell in Carla Lane's sitcom Bread. She was one of the few actors who stayed with the show for its entire 7-season run, starting in 1986. She was educated at Wirral Grammar School for Girls. Boat trained at the Liverpool Playhouse, where she started her career as a theatre actress, before touring the United Kingdom in stage roles, working in numerous West End theatres including the Royal National Theatre and the Bristol Old Vic. In a career spanning from 1962 to 2018, she appeared largely in television productions. These included guesting parts in Softly, Softly, Some Mothers Do Avem, Grange Hill, Last of the Summer Wine, Boys from the Black Stuff 1982, Scully and Juliet Bravo in the mid-1980s. In 1989, she was the subject of This Is Your Life, and in 2008 she made a guest appearance in BBC One's daytime TV soap, Doctors. Boat starred in The Brighton Bells, an unsuccessful British adaptation of the American sitcom The Golden Girls as the character of Josephine, based on Sophia Petrillo, the part made famous by Estelle Getty. Her first marriage to William Boat ended in divorce. She married the American-British conductor and composer Carl Davis on December 28, 1970. They had 2 daughters, filmmakers Hannah and Jessie. Boat also appeared in the film Mothers and Daughters, 2004, and starred in Chris Shepard's award-winning short film Bad Night for the Blues, 2010. Boat and Davis were executive producers on Hannah Davis's film The Understudy, and they appeared in the film as a married couple. Boat was diagnosed with vascular dementia and Alzheimer's disease. She was a resident at Denville Hall, a retirement home in Northwood, London, for actors and other members of the entertainment industry. Boat died from complications of dementia at the age of 91. She was born March 6, 1932.
When there were legends around, I didn't think of the movie stars, when I started, it was just...
Michael Parkinson. He was an English television presenter, broadcaster, journalist, and author. He hosted his talk show Parkinson from 1971 to 1982 and again starting in 1998, along with other talk shows and programs both in the UK and internationally. He also had a career in radio and was referred to by The Guardian as the Great British Talk Show Host. Michael Parkinson was born on March 28, 1935. Parkinson began his career as a journalist on local newspapers straight after leaving school. He worked as a features writer for the Manchester Guardian, working alongside Michael Frayn and later on the Daily Express in London. In the course of his 2 years national service, which began in July 1955, he received a commission as an officer in the Royal Army Pay Corps, becoming the youngest captain in the British Army at the time. He saw active service in Egypt in the Suez Crisis as a British Army press liaison officer. During the 1960s, Parkinson moved into television, working on current affairs programs for the BBC and Manchester-based Granada Television. He was one of the presenters on the 5 times a week news show 24 Hours on BBC One from March 1966 until 1968. From 1969 he presented Granada's Cinema, a late-night film review program before in July 1971 presenting his BBC series Parkinson, which ran until April 1982 and from January 1998 until December 2007, leaving the BBC for ITV1 midway through the second run, which concluded after 31 series. By his own reckoning, he had interviewed 2,000 of the world's celebrities. Parkinson was one of the original famous 5 lineup of TVM's Good Morning Britain in 1983 with Angela Rippon, Anna Ford, David Frost and Robert Key. Parkinson presented the weekend edition of the program until February 1984. In 1971, Parkinson was nominated as a candidate for the position of rector of the University of Dundee. On August 22, 1959, he married Mary Hennigan, who was from Doncaster. They had 3 children, including a son Michael, who married the comedian and actress Fiona Allen. In 2013, Parkinson announced that he had been diagnosed with prostate cancer. In 2015 he was given the all-clear from the disease. Parkinson died at home following a brief illness, at the age of 88.
By Mr. Hamada, who's, I think, a brilliant surgeon.
Annabelle Giles. She was a British television and radio presenter who also had a background as a qualified counselor, psychotherapist, model, actress, writer and novelist. Between 1977 and 1982, Giles trained and worked as a secretary, mostly employed in advertising agencies, which is where she was discovered. Giles started her media career in the 1980s on Razzmatazz and Night Network, and appeared in the 1993 film Riders. She came to prominence as co-presenter of ITV's Posh Frocks and New Trousers with Sarah Green. She was in numerous entertainment shows, and a panelist on game shows ranging from Have I Got News for You to Shooting Stars. She was a regular panelist on Through the Keyhole and BBC Radio 4's Loose Ends, and also appeared on BBC Radio 4's Just a Minute, and on Noel's House Party. In 1995, Giles wrote and performed a one-woman show at the Edinburgh Festival called Looking for Mr. Giles, and a second show the following year, Anyone Can Be a TV Presenter. Giles' first novel, Birthday Girls, reached number 6 in the top 10 on the bestseller lists in 2001. She published Crossing the Paradise Line in 2003, and The Defrosting of Charlotte Small in 2006. From 2014, Giles regularly guested on the Channel 5 chat show The Right Stuff hosted by Matthew Wright. In summer 2018 she appeared on ITV2's My Shirley Valentine Summer, and was the resident agony aunt on the Ellery Shown show for BBC Radio Wales. She was born May 20, 1959. In 1985 Giles married the lead singer of Ultravox, Midge Ure. Giles and Ure separated in 1989. In July 2023, she was diagnosed with glioblastoma, an aggressive form of brain cancer, which had developed to stage 4. Her children issued a joint statement announcing that she had died on at Martlett's Hospice in Hove, at the age of 64.
Can't really get into a groove on a piano. And then
Cynthia Whiley. She was an American songwriter who wrote many songs together with her husband Barry Mann. While and Mann were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010. In 1987, she was inducted with her husband into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and in 2011, they jointly received the Johnny Mercer Award, the highest honor bestowed by that Hall of Fame. While and her husband, both based at the Brill Building, were instrumental in shaping the sound of rock and roll in the 1960s, alongside other luminaries such as Carole King, Burt Bacharach and Neil Diamond. While and her husband went on to create songs for many contemporary artists, winning several Grammy Awards as well as Academy Award nominations for their compositions for film. In 1987, she was inducted with her husband into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. In 1988, While won 2 awards at the 30th Annual Grammy Awards for co-writing, Somewhere Out There, from the animated film An American Tail, Song of the Year and Best Song Written for Visual Media. While and Mann were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010 in the Ahmet Ertegun Award category. In 2015, While published her first novel, I'm Glad I Did, a mystery set in 1963. While was inducted into the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2023. He was born October 18, 1940, while died at home in Beverly Hills, California, at age 82. No cause of death was announced. Harry Belafonte. He was an American singer, actor and civil rights activist who brought calypso music to global audiences in the 1950s and 1960s. His breakthrough album, Calypso 1956, became the first million-selling LP by a solo artist. He was an American singer, actor, and civil rights activist who brought calypso music to global audiences in the 1950s and 1960s. His breakthrough album, Calypso 1956, became the first million-selling LP by a solo artist. Bellonte received 3 Grammy Awards, including a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, as well as an Emmy Award and a Tony Award. From 1932 to 1940, Bellonte lived with one of his grandmothers in her native country of Jamaica, where he attended Woolmer schools. Bellonte started his career in music as a club singer in New York to pay for his acting classes. The first time he appeared in front of an audience, he was backed by the Charlie Parker Band, which included Charlie Parker, Max Roach, and Miles Davis, among others. He launched his recording career as a pop singer on the Roost label in 1949. In 1959, Bellonte starred in Tonight with Bellonte, a nationally televised special that featured Odetta, who sang Waterboy and performed a duet with Bellonte of There's a Hole in My Bucket, that hit the national charts in 1961. In 1978, he appeared as a guest star on an episode of The Muppet Show, on which he performed his signature song, Day-O. On March 8, 1957, Bellonte married his second wife Julie Robinson, a dancer with the Katherine Dunham Company who was of Jewish descent. They had 2 children, Gina and David. In 1996, Bellonte was diagnosed with prostate cancer and was treated for the disease. Bellonte died from congestive heart failure at his home on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, New York City, at the age of 96. Analo Ral. He was a Brazilian singer, presenter, and actor. With a career spanning over 70 years, he was known for his baritone voice and romantic repertoire, especially Italian songs. He was the brother of fellow singer Analo Ral. In the 1970s, he became the main heartthrob of record TV, starring in soap operas such as The Last Witness, The Rector's Pupils, The Gods Are Dead, and Yellow Sun, in addition to presenting the historic Analo Ral Show. In the 1980s, he hosted the highly successful Party Dance, a music program produced by TV Cultura, for 8 years. In 1981 in Uruguay, he won the International Song Festival, where singers from all over the world participated. The singer died at the age of 86, after a fall at his home in Santana, in the north of Sao Paulo. Analo Ral leaves an invaluable legacy to Brazilian music, with a career that spanned decades and touched the hearts of millions of fans.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Summers. I just spent a long time talking to Carol.
Suzanne Summers. She was an American actress, author, and businesswoman. She played the television roles of Chrissy Snow on Three's Company and Carol Foster Lambert on Step by Step. Summers wrote more than 25 books, including 2 autobiographies, for Diet Books, and a book of poetry. Summers wrote more than 25 books, including 2 autobiographies, for Diet Books, and a book of poetry. She was also well known for advertising the Thighmaster, an exercise device. While 14 of her books were bestsellers and most were focused on health and well-being, doctors criticized her promotion of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy and alternative cancer treatments. Summers began acting in small roles during the late 1960s and early 1970s. Summers modeled for Grimm Modeling Agency in San Francisco. Summers worked as a prize model on Anniversary Game, a game show, based at KGO-TV in San Francisco, hosted by Alan Hamill and produced by Circle 7 Productions. In 1973, she appeared in bit parts in movies, such as the blonde in The White Thunderbird, in American Graffiti, and an uncredited role as a pool girl in Magnum Force. In February 1974, she appeared in an episode of the American version of the sitcom Lots of Luck, based on the British sitcom On the Buses, as the femme fatale. It led to her first appearance, February 21, 1974, on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, promoting her book of poetry. She appeared in The Rockford Files in 1974. She also had a guest starring role on The $6 Million Man in the 1977 episode, Cheshire Project. In 1977, Summers and Hamill married, and bought a 25-acre estate in Palm Springs, California. In April 2000, Summers was diagnosed with cancer. Summers died at her home in Palm Springs, California, one day before her 77th birthday. Her death was attributed to breast cancer, which had returned earlier in the year.
Seen the film yet? Oh, you have? Yes. Well, the last scene where we're in our...
Michael Lerner. He was an American actor. He was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role as Jack Lipnick in Barton Fink, 1991. Lerner also played Arnold Rothstein in 8 Men Out, 1988. Phil Gilman in Amos and Andrew, 1993. Lerner made his first television appearance at the age of 13, as a quiz kid on a television program hosted by a local sportscaster. He played Willie Loman in a production of Death of a Salesman at Brooklyn College, where Joel Zwick was a classmate. In 1970, Lerner made his film debut in Alice in Wonderland. Director Paul Mazursky had seen his production of Little Murders and enjoyed his performance. Lerner died of complications from brain seizures at a hospital in Burbank, California, at the age of 81.